Yo, what up, dude?
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 45. My name is ThaPChild.
Yeah. And I'm Lord Fluffy. Easy.
Interesting. So we'll see if my internet craps out today. It's kind of being
Weird.
a little bit,
It's being super
a
weird.
little bit weird on me. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it makes it through the night, through the episode. But
What? Is that the way
we
you want
had,
it? That's flipped. Is that what you want?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna
perfect.
move you a bit.
Cool.
Chill.
We had straw polls from last week that we wanted to talk about, and we also had a little bit of a sad news. We can jump into the sad news first, and then we'll go back
Sad
to the straw
news.
poll.
What's the sad news?
Well, Diablo fans
Oh
officially
yeah. Shit.
officially closed
Just
up.
jumping right into
I
that,
went
huh?
to use it today.
Goddamn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out there. I can't get it out of the way. I went to use it, man. I went to use it today,
Yeah.
and I saw the banner at the top, and I was like,
That's it. So for you guys
no.
listening, Diablo fans was shut down on March 21st, 2019. You're viewing a read-only version of the site. Thank you for your patronage throughout the years.
Yeah,
That's all you can do. You can't
yeah,
click create.
man. That
build.
got me thinking a little bit today. It's just like, man, with the season extension and the wind kind of being sucked out, and just the reception that I've gotten streaming and YouTube and just from my content creator hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then reading that, man, it just felt bad. It was like, damn, man, this is
Yeah.
not looking good for old Diablo 3, Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So,
I hear you. But at the same time, so Diablo, this is kind of ironic timing, right? So Diablo fans get shut down. Diablo ROS hits its 5-year anniversary, I think yesterday. So happy anniversary.
happy
Obviously,
anniversary.
the community's breaking up with you, but it's fine. Hope you
Yeah.
have a good birthday.
Happy anniversary, Grandma. It's like, at the gravesite with the flowers.
Right.
So, yeah, it's cool, man. I don't know. It's a bad feeling. I didn't like it. I didn't like
Sure.
seeing it. This is the first time. Obviously, it shut down on the 21st. Today's the 26th. So in the last 5 days, I haven't gone to the site.
Yeah.
But I went there today to reference one of my own builds that I
Right.
couldn't remember exactly what I was using. And I just saw that banner, and it's like, oh, it kind of hit me a little bit. For a couple seconds, I was like, damn, man, this really sucks.
It really does. Yeah. It's hard to even
So,
grasp because like what other games out there really that like they're still being played and like the main site gets shut down. I mean, it'd be like, I don't know, like Apex Reddit getting shut down or something because it's like no one's using it or it's just not
they
profitable
don't,
to keep
I
it up.
mean,
It'd be crazy.
it'd be like Wowhead shutting down for World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the only thing I can really associate. A lot of games don't, well, I shouldn't say a lot. A lot of games that I play personally don't require external websites.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft is probably the worst offender of any of them that I've used. Diablo is pretty bad too, because there's just so much stuff you need to reference.
Right.
But so
PoE
like
is probably
PoE,
the
what's
worst.
PoE's number one site? Yeah,
God, the wiki,
all of it.
PoEDB, PoE.trade.
Yeah,
God,
it
damn.
just sucks, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, that's all for the depressing news. I don't want to harp on that all episode,
Sure.
but it does suck.
Sure.
So
It's funny
last
to me,
week's straw.
that I was thinking about is like, when we first started this podcast, like one of the things we were like super adamant about was like, you know what, we don't want to focus on anything negative. Like we really
Right.
don't. And so like
So
we're
hard.
just every week we're just going to talk about, what's going on with Diablo. Like it's going to be just like a Diablo podcast and it's like, fast forward 45 episodes in,
Yeah, 45 weeks
it's
later.
tough. It's really tough to like continue finding things to talk about in this game.
But I don't think we saw this direction coming when we
No,
started the podcast.
absolutely not.
I think
It was in a
I think
good
we were
spot
like,
when we started. Like
yeah, it's like we just
Necro.
got season 12.
Yep.
We just got that big balance patch.
Yep.
And we're like things were looking good.
They were looking
We
good.
had never had a lull in between balance patches. Like every season
Right.
had some change up to season 12.
Yeah.
So I guess we expected that trend to continue. And then Diablo 4 on the horizon, I think that this, it just wasn't. This wasn't what we expected.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, I guess, in content creation in general, not just the podcast, but in streaming and YouTube and everything. It's like when you ride or die by one game,
Right.
there's so much that rides on that, and it's crazy, man. It's
Right.
crazy.
It's
So the podcast, we
yeah.
talk about other things other than Diablo
Sure.
now, but it doesn't, I still enjoy it, man. I still love
Right.
doing the podcast. So
Sure. And
Even
like
if
in the
Diablo
grand
is
scheme of
great.
things, like we're still not really that negative on Diablo compared to kind of I feel like the
Yeah.
general population of the world.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think one thing that really conveys this, I was on the Blizzard forums today, just kind of like searching for things like I do and seeing what's going on. And literally the post, you remember after BlizzCon, they made a post, "We hear you," right? People are legit still posting on this thread. It's 255 pages long. The last post being 2 hours ago. And people are still just talking about, like, what a disappointment. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, Diablo Immortal is going to be crap. It's crazy.
So let me ask you this. I've been talking with other community members and other streamers and stuff, and they're, asking me if I'm going to go to BlizzCon, and, they're thinking about going to BlizzCon and how hyped they are.
Yeah.
And, like, my response is like, probably not, man. Like, it would be cool to go, but that was a lot of money for a lot of disappointment. And it's like, the more I think about it and the more time that comes between BlizzCon, I'm not angry, but I'm like, damn, that was a kind of a waste of a lot of money. That's a lot of money that I could have spent on my family or streaming equipment or basically anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's really a lot of waiting around too, and like which you don't really see, like while you're at home and you're watching videos. But like, it's a lot of like.
It was really cool to meet people, though.
Yeah,
like it was really cool to meet you. It was really cool to meet Lady Giggles and all the other streamers. That was really cool.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Man, was it $1,200 cool? I don't know, dude.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. So my question is though,
sure.
What are your thoughts about this year, about going back?
I mean, it just depends. Like,
what announcements could they have this year? That's the thing. The thing I look at is like, last year was kind of a crappy BlizzCon because there were no real announcements. I mean, we got Diablo Immortal. What else did we get? Like nothing for World of Warcraft, really.
Well, we got the Warcraft
new hero for Overwatch
thing. People like that a lot.
And the Warcraft 3.
Remaster or whatever.
A remastered game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Overwatch hero, that's not like small news. Of course, Hearthstone gets 1 billion expansions a day.
Well, so what could they put out this year?
That's the thing is, I was actually talking about this on stream the other day. Is like,
this is going to be a worse BlizzCon than last year.
Yeah, but like they skipped a year, like way back when. It was like 2000 something. They skipped. Like, would they do it again?
Yeah.
And I honestly think if they're not going to come out with anything, Blizzard, you should skip.
I think they should. Yeah,
you should
I think they should
this year.
skip.
It's too fresh. Let shit.
I mean, maybe
over.
they drop a new WoW expansion. I don't know what the timeline is on that.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I would think
When did they announce this latest the BFA expansion? Was it at the last BlizzCon prior? Was it 2017 BlizzCon?
I don't. I think that cinematic was there, wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Say yes.
So maybe they could start dropping info for the new WoW expansion,
right?
If they're still in a 2-year cycle. But other than that, I mean, even their Activision meeting was like, we got nothing.
Yeah.
We got nothing.
Yeah, and then it's weird because we see these reports that are like floating around. It's like, well, Diablo Immortal's coming out this year. And we're like, how? When?
Yeah.
And they're super quiet, which they probably should be. Like just release it, and if it's good, then maybe the bad press won't come with it. But if they like talk about it, I feel like, if they're like, hey, it's coming out in 2 months, people are like, oh God, here comes this piece of crap, Which, I mean, it's going to happen because of, like, look at this thread is still going. People are still salty as F. It's crazy.
All right, so let's analyze this thread just for a second. Yeah. We still hear you. What?
No, it's not.
What have they told us?
Not we still.
It has been It has been 6
Yeah, yeah.
months. It has been
Yeah.
6 months. What? Go to page 1. Let's
Oh,
read
man.
that post one more time.
Sure.
Because I want to analyze like what info do we have in the last 6 months, and I think it's absolutely nothing.
Okay. November 7th. We want to start out by saying we hear you. Since the moment we
Okay.
stepped into the office on Monday, we've been discussing everything Diablo nonstop. We're fully committed to listening and engaging, so please keep the constructive feedback coming. Our primary focus right now is pouring over that feedback to inform internal discussions, and we'll follow up with further thoughts as soon as we can. And since then, for the record, I think there's been 4 Nevilistus official posts
In here, man, I wish
on
we
the
could
forums.
pull those out. On the forums or on this thread?
I'm pretty sure on the thread there's been 2, and I'm pretty sure on the forums there's been like 4 or 5.
Like 2 more.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some quality of life changes, and we got a reworking of numbers.
Yeah.
Since then,
And we got a confirmation that Star Pact isn't a bug.
that Star Pack macroing is okay.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think that we hear you statement's a little bit big for the amount of feedback we've gotten back. I still don't feel like they're communicating with us at all, but I don't expect them to. But that post makes me wonder, like,
What happened?
what was the plan?
Right.
You didn't ever tell us any of your new future projects, and it's been 6 months.
Right.
So when do we get to hear about those things?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because I feel
not-
like, I don't know, maybe they had something planned and then just kept making those. Because there was something else right after this, right? God, what was it? It was so bad. It was the post yourself playing Diablo on Switch and have a chance to win a Diablo on Switch.
With the Switch, yeah.
So, like, there was just
Oh
a
my
series
God.
of really bad, like, kind of, like, publicity-driven decisions.
I forgot all about that. That was the dumbest thing I've ever
Right.
seen.
And then there was something else on top of that, but I don't remember. But, like, they just kept making some pretty... So maybe they just kind of had to pull the plug on, like, okay, you guys are making a mess of this, so...
Yeah, let's just shut up and carve back in the hole for a
Right.
little while.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Let's hit this straw poll up before.
Sure.
Because we just talked about not being negative, and I don't
Yeah.
have positive things to say right now about that subject.
So last week we added, this was kind of a weird one. If Diablo 4 was an over-the-shoulder loot and shoot, would you be interested? And I don't mean that in the sense of like, okay, we're talking about Destiny. I mean, sure, there could be guns, right? Sure, there could be like a demon hunter could have pistols, crossbows, whatever, right? That could be a thing. But I'm talking like, you could aim spells.
Shoot fireballs.
Yeah, stuff like that. So over the shoulder, loot and shoot, which, as we talked about before, apparently Diablo Next or whatever the next title was going to be like a Dark Souls over the shoulder kind of game. So this is just kind of saying like, if that would have come out, would you have played it? And so the options were hell yeah and nope. So what do you think people voted and what do you want?
People want Diablo content. I'm gonna go with hell yeah.
Okay. And what about you?
Let's see it.
So that's what you think
what about
people
me
voted, and
personally?
what do you vote personally?
Yeah, dude, I'd be down.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say hell yeah too. Anything Diablo, I'm down. Besides a mobile game.
I'm down.
Vote. Oh wow, 60.
Oh.
What? 60% say nope, and 40% say hell yeah.
Interesting. That really does surprise me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right. I guess.
We hear you.
I mean,
Diablo
this is
fans.
kind of operating under the assumption too that like, if Diablo 4 is an over-shoulder loot and shoot, we will never get the isometric again. I guess. Maybe.
I wonder if the shoot scared people away.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Diablo players don't like shooting things.
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't like shooters.
You don't have to tell me. Yeah. I play Apex
So, yeah,
Legends.
I mean,
no one wants.
Yeah, I know. Anytime I play a shooter, it's
Right.
like, what is this garbage? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? So I'm with you.
Right.
But still, I mean, I think that's strong enough to say that no, we want the isometric view. So.
Yeah, and I don't blame it because that's what I want too. But like, if it's another, Blizzard inspired.
Can we zoom out a little bit though? Why does the isometric view have to be so damn close all the time?
Yeah.
Like, what's the crime in zooming out just a little bit?
Like
What-
zoom out
why?
more in
I mean,
Diablo?
Yeah, and PoE and like
PoE
every
I feel like
isometric
could
view
definitely
game
use
ever.
with more zooming out. But I think
And
Diablo
Diablo
for
as
the
well.
most part's fine. I don't know.
Just a little bit.
Makes
Doesn't
them
need
so
much,
used to
man.
it.
Just
Like Grim Dawn, you
a
can
little-
zoom out like forever. Like
yeah,
literally.
that's what I'm talking about.
You're like a tiny little
do.
dot.
It's okay if my map doesn't.
I don't want to zoom out
Doesn't
so
load
much
the
that it looks like
monster?
I'm
I
playing
don't know,
like
man.
StarCraft and I'm like commanding minions or something.
Yeah, just a little bit. I don't need much, but I think a little would be nice.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. And then, so that one was interesting. That's actually interesting.
Yep. What do we got for
the
next
one
week?
for next week is one I kind of asked on the stream right before we started. Now that the dust is settling on the salt, are you going to try Diablo Immortal when it comes out? Assuming no pay-to-win announcements are made before release. Yes or no? Let me spam this in chat real quick.
I already know what people are going to vote on this one. But seriously, though, seriously, take with as like I know your instant reaction is going to be like F that, I'm going to vote no, but like
think about it.
Like think
about
will you
it.
really play it? Honest answer.
Right.
You know, you have a phone. I know the meme. You got a phone.
Can we pick different verbiage there?
Do you not? Okay, sorry. So it's your fault, by the way.
It actually really is. It's funny. I was in Quinn's chat the other day, and like someone posted like the phone thing, and then I don't remember how it got started, but I was like, that's literally like my meme. And people were like, "Get out!" Like you call yourself the face of Diablo. Like, no, but seriously, that is like I was the guy that asked the questions, and everyone's like, "No, that was him." So it was kind of funny. There's so many people that know that happened, but have no idea that was me.
Yeah. I mean, it's on things all the time. Like they reference that. Like other developers have referenced that. I can't remember if it was Division or Destiny, but one of the devs, I was watching the interview with them, and they said that, and I'm like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like this is.
It was like the best,
crazy.
Worst exposure you could possibly hope for as a streamer. It's like PewDiePie. I was on PewDiePie. Right. I made it to PewDiePie. And nothing.
PewDiePie.
Didn't say my name. God damn it.
Didn't say your name?
No.
Yeah.
PewDiePie.
Where's the patch, man?
Yeah, so like still no PTR.
Can you get a hold of your contacts?
Yeah.
Tell me where this patch is at?
Yeah. I have so many inside.
Do you have any connects at Blizz?
Nope.
Do you have anybody?
No. I have like one guy that will respond to me that works at Blizzard. But like we never talk
I
never push that.
I have one guy too, but I never ask him questions because I don't,
Yeah, I don't want to
try to be respectful,
right?
Try to be respectful.
You want to tell me something? Go ahead.
Yeah, if they offer up info,
Right.
I'm all about it. But I don't ever prod. But yeah, I expect it soon. I mean, the first week of April is kind of when I'm hoping for an announcement. At least I expect the first week they're gonna say PTR next week, and then next week we're gonna get to test it, and then they'll have 2 weeks of downtime to give us feedback on our feedback. I hope that's my thought process, and I'm like, please.
So what they said, May 16th, or what did they say?
They said May 12th.
May 12th. Okay.
So when the season ends is when the season ends.
Right. So then I would start probably the 17th.
This next season,
based on how rapid fire they've been doing it.
Potentially the 24th, but probably the 17th.
Probably the 17th. So
if we get the announcement in the first week of April, and we get the PTR the following week, then that gives them 2 full weeks, 3 full weeks.
I feel like for us to thoroughly
that might
test,
be too soon.
It needs to be next Tuesday.
You think they're going to be smart and do a
proper
Paragon
PTR?
cap? Yeah, you think they're going to Paragon cap us this time?
No,
or you think
I don't
they're
think they're
going
going
to
do that. Even though they should. They totally should. I would love to see if they're balanced. Because the thing is, like, they gave us the big changes in 2.6.4 and their balance, right? But we can't really see if it worked because we're ordering unlimited Paragon on PTR. Yeah. So it'd be nice to see like a even playing field, 2K Paragon capped PTR. Why not cap PTR? And plus you could like test a PTR cap if you had a cap on PTR.
I think you should do 2 waves of PTR. I think the first one should be Paragon capped.
Yeah.
And then the second one, just let people go crazy.
Right.
And another thing is like this copying your profile, like 24-hour restriction, like maybe it's a server like load balancing thing. But why can't we just get the mats for free? I don't understand.
It's PTR.
Like, if you want us to test stuff, why do I have to have materials to spend?
I agree, man.
To like let me re-roll things infinitely.
Right.
Let me
like
these little, those little those little bags you buy from the vendor that drop loot.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just buy infinite of those? Why aren't
Or
they free?
the dream, like pick freaking sets, because like how many times have you been on PTR? It's like, oh man, maybe with area damage this would work really well. Like, well, I obviously don't have like area damage and Arias built out. Like, I don't have that saved anywhere. I never would save that. I don't have the room to save that. So yeah, it'd be juicy AF. Or like,
I mean, yeah, and if they don't have the ability to let us pick stats because it's not coded in the game, which it may be, then
just let's
giving us infinite bags would just eventually we're going to get the roll we want, even if it's not perfect. And maybe open 50,000 bags. Push the server, I guess. So
that'd be so terrible to play though, but yeah.
I mean, it'd be better. I think it'd be better than running out of mats and being like, well, I got to recopy my profile, and then you lose all the other sets you've been working on, and that kept me from testing things because I had an order of things I was interested in on this last PTR. It was like, okay, I wanted to play Star Pact Wizard, I wanted to play Hammerden, and I wanted to play Wave of Light Monk. Those were kind of the order that I wanted to test things.
Right.
And then so after I did all that, then I was out of mats, and I'm like, okay, I want to test Barb now, and then Demon Hunter, whatever. And then I was like, man, it'd be really cool to test Rollins. Oh wait, I already destroyed all my other Crusader sets though, in mats and things. So I had to recopy my profile and then lose everything. And it wasn't a great system. So I hope that they can make some adjustments to that if they're listening. Like a 2,000 Paragon cap would be awesome. And then give us infinite mats and let us.
Right. But one of the things I've been noticing is so I've been playing quite a bit of PoE lately, and I think a lot of the normal viewers have been giving it another shot. And one of the things I just keep hearing over and over is oh my God, I can buy so much stash, because you can literally buy endless amounts of stash and absolutely save everything you could possibly want for any
They don't
build.
cap you at all.
Nope.
It's crazy.
And the stashes are huge. They're searchable. You can color code them. You can label them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
if only.
But yeah, one of the other things.
Do you think the GGG guys listen to the woes of Diablo and they're like, oh,
yeah, honestly, I was
that our game doesn't do that.
Thinking about that. I think we talked about it a little after BlizzCon. We're they had to be kind of jumping for joy after Diablo Immortal, because it's it was kind of the nail on the coffin for, I feel a lot of the population. And then over time, I think even since BlizzCon, there's been little hope from the Diablo players out there. So I feel a lot of more and more people are trickling in to PoE.
Well, didn't they miraculously name their next expansion Betrayal, and then in Immortal, it had the words Immortal in it, and Immortal Syndicate.
They said it wasn't
Betrayal,
related,
and
they said it wasn't
dude,
related.
get the fuck out of here, man. You know how fast they were dude, we got to change the name. It's Immortal. There's no way. There's no.
Sure.
That's subliminal messaging so hard.
Right.
So.
But yeah,
I'm with them. All right.
One of the other things I've noticed in my community, I don't know if you've had the same, but I've got some diehard people, diehard Diablo players in my community that they're grouping all the time and really grinding out the season. They'll maybe get 3K in a season, just really hardcore players. And even them have been well, I'm really into grouping, and PoE's or one of Diablo's strongest, features is its group play. And we can hit 150 already, and it's actually pretty easy for us to farm. So what's the point? What do I do now? Because that's my whole goal, right? Every season's to push the highest format and cap, and we're hitting cap, and we can't show anyone else how much more badass we are than 150. So I guess I'm done.
They have to address that next season, I feel like.
Right.
It has to be a thing. So if it's not a thing, then I think they're going to lose some of that hardcore cap. I mean, that's got to be a super, super, super small minority of the player base.
Yeah.
I don't know what they can do about it. I don't know if they have the talent or the energy or the money
Star Pact
to fix
Wizard and nerf Thorns Necro.
Yeah. I mean, they could.
I know, and people are probably going to hate me for saying that, because people are never people hate nerfs. I get it. But you look at, especially Thorns Necro, it is so broken. It is a terrible play style. It's awful. It's an awful build. It's an atrocity. It really is, and it just needs a nerf, man. You gotta just get rid of it. It's so stupid in this day and age to have Thorns as a mechanic on a Necro, because Necro obviously you can't force mobs to attack your pets. There's no taunt. There's nothing. So it's just a dumb, clunky mechanic, and there's a whole build based around it. And right now it's like 130 solo. It's too much. It's ridiculous, and it's so fishy. It's even more fishy than like normal Necro builds, because you have to get like Desecrator and good Guardians. It's awful. It's so bad. Anyways, I've ranted about Thorns Necro until the end of time, and then there's their star packs, which we've talked about week after week. Yes, like really, really good players can get it working okay without a macro, and I've seen actually streamers do it. What's his name? I can't remember, but
Lexi does it a lot.
Yeah, Lexi. Yeah. He's doing it. Yeah. But it's not gonna.
But there's a difference between doing it manually and then macroing it perfectly every single time. I mean, yeah, you can do it, but it's not as efficient, dude. It's not like one button boop, like that.
And that's the other thing too, is like, man, it was such a missed opportunity to buff Lawn last season. Like, it was such, like, I don't know who was in charge of that idea, but like, what a waste to buff Lawn last season instead of saving
unless we get Season of Lawn next season. But I agree, it would have been better to get Season of Lawn with a big Lawn buff.
Yeah,
I agree 100% that they should have saved that. There was no reason to do it.
Right.
With all those changes we got, that was just like another easy win for them to do Season of Lawn the next season, buff Lawn, and then people could go ham, and they'd have all these new toys to play with. But we don't know what they have up their sleeves. Sure. So I guess until we actually get our 265 announcement,
right?
If 2.7 or whatever,
we should word that. So if their plan is like another kind of small bounce update with a a mediocre to maybe decent seasonal theme idea, it was a waste. But if they're planning on doing some juicy content next season, well, we'll eat our own words, please.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, it was unfortunate timing on their part.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set this one up just a little bit. Okay. We've had all this news about the new Google controller gaming thing,
and
then Apple comes out and announces their gaming service, and it's like all of these cloud-based gaming things are starting to take over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And David Brevik made a tweet that I think is kind of related to these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think this is what started this. And I think a lot of Diablo players kind of put him on a pedestal, and they respect his opinions.
Rightfully
and his
so,
words.
yeah.
Yeah, and like I do. I mean, this guy's got gaming insights that none of us have. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's not afraid
to
speak his mind, which is admirable, right?
Yeah, he doesn't need this. I'm sure he's got Diablo money for life. So he's like, I don't really care. I'll piss everybody off. I don't care. But his tweet, man, read his tweet to the peoples real quick and let them know.
David Brevik tweeted out, "I'm very worried about the future of the gaming market. All of these services where developers get paid by the minute are going to have radical impacts on design motivations and predatory practices. If you thought free to play was bad, you haven't seen anything yet." And then he followed up with his own tweet and said, "There is no way to stop this. These changes are coming. When mega companies like Google and Apple are making this a corporate initiative, gaming is going to change forever."
Ever. I mean, Google owns the world anyways.
Sure.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, and Apple's right there with them. So I agree with what he said, man. And the scary thing is I never thought about this, and I didn't get to watch all of Apple's press conference. I saw the highlights of it. I didn't get to watch all of Google's is it Stadia, or I can't remember the name of the service. Stadia. I didn't get to see all of that either. I watched like recaps from other big news outlets.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that kind of struck me when he said this is like, are game developers actually going to make a service similar to Netflix where you pay per minute of gaming time? So let's say we signed up for this Google gaming service, right? And it's just like a cell phone. You know how your cell phone has
Right.
bandwidth limitations. You get a gig for, whatever. First, and then if you go over that limit, it costs you more. So what if these gaming services are like, you get, 40 hours of gaming a month for $30, and then every minute after that's like $1 or some shit.
Right.
Or let's say every 20 minutes is $1. I don't know, whatever the pricing is.
Sure.
Man, that absolutely scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, no shit.
You know what I mean?
That's a dark universe.
A horrible system.
That's a DC
that
universe.
I can see. But did you take this from that at all? Did that make you think that? Because that thought never entered my mind until I read this tweet. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, and it's kind of vague. It's like I don't really know exactly. Obviously, he was either in on like a discussion or like heard some news that was like very shaking to him, which caused him to make this tweet. So it's hard to really even gauge exactly what he means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty vague. But
at first reading, I thought he was talking about developers actually getting paid like by the minute of dev time. And then I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, no. What he's saying, I think, is that he's saying that these devs are going to get paid based on how many minutes they can keep players playing their games, because the games are going to be pay per minute of play.
Right.
This is kind of how I took it. And I'm like, oh yeah, like if I'm a dev and I'm thinking, how can I hook people into farming my game more? You know, World of Warcraft is a great example of that. World of Warcraft makes you farm everything. Why? Well, because the more you farm, the longer it takes to get the things you want.
Yep.
The longer it takes to get the things you want, the more months you're going to be subscribed to the game.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft is already a pay by time game. The thing is, it's an unlimited time for $15 a month.
Right.
So, but let's say World of Warcraft offered a $5 a month tier. That's like 20 hours a month.
Right.
Would people do it? Probably.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's people are like, well, I only get to play an hour a day anyways, or 5 hours a week. That's perfect for me.
Sure.
I'll do that and save some money. And then, before you know it, you're going to have all these pay per minute, pay per hour schemes out there. Like this example is this Apple Arcade thing that they're announcing. It's like, well, it's going to be on your mobile device. It's going to be a brand new thing. So,
yeah, can you talk about that at all?
Man.
Did you? I saw you posted.
Yeah, so I read it. I didn't get time to like watch the whole thing, but what I got from this is that Apple basically announced a service, and I don't think they talked about pricing yet. But basically, it seems like it's going to be a service you sign up for, just like iTunes or any of their other Apple services.
Sure.
Where you're going to get access to like 150 games, I think is what it's launching with, and they got a bunch of different developers that are going to get their games in this, and then so for that set price, whatever that pricing scheme is going to be on any of your Apple devices, whether it's your Apple TV, your iPhone, your iPad, whatever. I would assume your Mac, if it's going to come to Mac, you get to play those games on that device. So the articles that I read didn't go into details on pricing and details on play limitation, but they I think they did say something about unlimited play or unlimited downloads. I don't know. It was, but basically Apple's getting in the streaming gaming service. I mean, it's a streaming gaming service. So I don't know if these games are going to stream to the device or if your device is going to download them. I need to go back and watch the entire press conference, but the gist is they're getting into this streaming service, the streaming gaming service, which Google's now getting in, and then Nvidia has theirs that they're trying to promote as well. And it's like, this is the future of gaming, man. And regardless if we like it or not, this is going to be a thing. The only thing that kills this is if user experience isn't good enough with the latency to the controller, to the system. That's the only thing I can see killing this. And Google's thing was like, Google was going to put, like, Google has network nodes and like server clusters all over the country.
Right.
So they're going to have these little things popping up everywhere where you're not going to have to. So like for us, like we're in the Midwest, we're not going to have to connect to LA. We're going to get to collect to data centers in Kansas City, data centers in St. Louis, data centers in Chicago. So like we're going to get closer ping times that way. I don't know if Apple's got that infrastructure built, but Google does.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Google already has fiber networks in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So for you, I would imagine you're going to have a fabulous experience, or as good as possible experience with it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's the future, man.
Gross.
It's the future.
Gross. I don't want to. I want to stay in the present if that's the future. Shit.
I'm the same, man. Like, I resist change a lot when it comes to gaming stuff, but it could be cool. I mean, so like, I don't know, man.
I mean, I think it could be cool because like if all this is doing is increasing accessibility for the people that can't afford a $1,500 gaming PC or a $200-$300 console, but they can afford $5 a month to stream a game from their phone, like from their parents' phone or whatever. If this is increasing accessibility of games, I am in. I am down. But if this is like trying to take over us that like love to have these, like, so we work hard and we play hard, so we have these like gaming rigs, we have these setups, and if you're wanting to take that away, because like you're gonna put a service on like whatever you have, like that's terrible. That sounds awful. I would hate that.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I think computing is going in the same direction. I've been telling people this for years. I think it's still a little ways off, but I think in the next probably 5 to 10 years, it's going to be the exact same with PCs. You're not going to buy PCs. You're going to lease PC space from Amazon or from Google. They're going to say, okay, what tier do you want? You know, and you're going to say, okay, I want the ultra mega gaming computer that's, equivalent of whatever the top tier NVIDIA graphics and Intel processor is. And then they're going to say, okay, $20 a month. And then now you have a leased gaming PC or leased PC. And I really have been saying that for a long time. That's going to be the future. And I know on previous podcasts, we talked about how the CEO of Sony said that the next generation of consoles is going to be the last generation of consoles. They think consoles are gone. And we talked about that. God, I don't know. It was one of the first episodes we did forever ago.
I don't remember that.
And it was like, it was interesting. And it's kind of like these two announcements. It's just funny that Apple's announcement came like right after Google's. I wonder if that was timed at all. If Google was like, all right, Apple's pressers next week. Let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Or who could do it better though? Google or Apple?
If anybody's can do it, Google can. Google's got the money. They got the infrastructure. They got the technology. I mean, nobody. And on top of that, they have YouTube. So here was like one of the features that they said about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can be playing a game in 4K 60. And if the games are specifically going to be designed for this system. It's not like they're taking a PC game and you're playing on a rig in a server cluster somewhere. These games are going to be modified or ported to perform on this system. So if the game can't handle, if one, I'm going to call it server, can't handle 4K 60 FPS, then it like basically SLIs another server to get those frame rates. So you can play the game at 1080p 60, instantly stream it to YouTube at 4K 60, and your computer has to do none of the work, and your bandwidth has to do none of the work. It's all done on Google servers, directly from Google servers to YouTube servers, all the streaming, all the encoding, all of it. You don't have to touch anything. So anybody can sign up from this service and instantly start streaming on YouTube at like top tier quality. I don't know how overlays and stuff would work. That was my first thought.
Right.
But when they're demoing this, it's like, oh, and then they're going to introduce technology where it's like stuck on a level, hit some button on your controller, and it'll search YouTube for sections of the exact same level that you're on with the same boss and like skip to that time in the video.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's some cool features that go along with this.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, man. It's different. The future's scary to people because change can screw us or change can be awesome.
Yeah.
So
true. Hopefully it'll be awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a weird kind of tweet from Brevik. And anytime like Brevik tweets out something that's like real like that, it's always kind of scary because he definitely has a lot more insights than we do on events like that because he does a lot of consulting and yeah.
So, with these game services coming out, there was another thing that I saw today that kind of was like, dang, this is kind of hitting home.
Right.
EA laid off 350 employees today. Or I think it was today.
Which is
I'm not sure if
weird
that's today or yesterday.
because Apex is
But
crushing it.
yeah, but Anthem is hot garbage. It's and I know there's a couple people out there that love the game, and you couple people are in the minority, and I love you for loving it, but let's be real. The vast majority of all reviews are not happy with the game, to the point that people actually boycotted the game. Like, there was a movement on Reddit to boycott playing Anthem for a week to force the devs to make changes to the game that they wanted.
Jesus Christ.
And that post got like fucking 12,000 upvotes or something crazy in like a day. Or it was ridiculous, man.
Wow.
So I don't know if that actually had any bearing on the game.
Sure.
I think the changes they wanted did get implemented, honestly. But on Twitch the other day, I looked at it. It was below Diablo 2.
What?
Like, it was below Diablo 2.
What is that? Like,
I went to
like
the
100 viewers or something?
No, I went to Diablo 2 actually had a pretty good amount for the time. It was under 2,000 though.
Damn. For a brand new game.
There was like brand new game under 2,000. And this is a service game. Like, this isn't like a single player story campaign, like a Final Fantasy or a Zelda or something that's like hot for a week, Kingdom Hearts or something. It's hot for a week and then boom, fizzles out. This is a serviceable game. This is supposed to be a Destiny competitor, even though they're completely fucking different, or Division, or something like another serviceable game like that.
Loot and shoot, sure.
And it's got less than 2,000 people on Twitch. And I know Twitch isn't the end all be all, but
sure, it's a good indication.
There's a lot of people out there that want to grow their channels that would stream this game,
right?
And the only thing I can think of is that the game is bad enough that these guys don't want to do it. They're like, man, I can't even play this.
Sure,
I don't want to stream it.
But you know what else? Now that we're kind of on that subject of like, okay, how's this game doing based on how well it's doing on Twitch? Battlefield 5 just came out, like the Battlefield 5 BR, and like it's nowhere. Like, it's so
not even there.
Bad. It is so bad. Like, it's not even.
Is the BR bad, or is that people aren't watching?
Yeah, there's 9,000 people. It's bad? I mean, I watched. So the doc. I don't know if it.
I saw Doc.
Pretty sure it was a sponsored stream, but he played it, and man, it looks so stupid. It looks so bad.
Did it?
I mean, it's World War II. I watched him
play it for a little bit.
Influenced. It looks just like Battlefield. So like for me, I'm immediately disinterested because I've always hated all Battlefield games. But man, you would think, because a new BR is like that's no small thing. Like, people love BRs right now.
That's the hot stuff on Twitch,
right?
Too.
And it's a AAA company making the BR. So usually, at least like Call of Duty Black Ops turned out to be a pretty bad BR in the grand scheme of things, and it's obviously dropped a lot in popularity. But it had like hundreds of thousands of people those first weeks.
Yeah, the first couple of days. It stayed on top for a week.
Yeah.
A week or two.
And whereas this is like, it never even hit.
I think Apex like killed stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
I think they did such a good job that it's like, Fortnite's done a lot better once they launched their new season. Like, they pulled some ground back on Apex a little bit, but it's still I don't know. It's still down there.
What happened with Grand Theft Auto? Like, Grand Theft Auto all of a sudden has been like number one.
Some of the big streamers have been playing it. I don't know if there's a reason why, but like Summit and Tim and Lupo and some of those guys have been in there. I don't know if something came out or those guys just decided like, hey, let's role play. They were role playing some shit. It was kind of dumb in my opinion, but
toxic.
But their communities are. I mean, some of those BR streamers, their communities are based on younger people. So I think they might have been catering to the younger kids.
Right.
So it's hard to say. But the 350 people that EA laid off, though, I mean, this kind of follows with Blizzard and Activision.
Same.
And it's like I think these. I wonder if money was so good for so many years that these companies kind of just were like, oh yeah, man, let's get a marketing director for that, and let's get a such and such for this, and I'll grab 3 of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
We got the budget. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, Fortnite stole all our money, and let's
Right. I don't
tone it
know,
down a
man.
little
It
bit.
just sucks because, like, obviously, neither of us have a huge insight on like the bureaucracy that happens within a gaming company. But
Right.
I've been in the room where, like, they do like a massive company layoff or something like that, and it's just like they have no idea. Like, and it kind of perplexes me. Is it like the same type of situation where like these executive team members are just like they're just fucking totally clueless, like with every experience that I've encountered, where like the
Yeah.
executive team is pretty much always anywhere I've ever been, the executive team has just been like half of them are brain dead, like, and they have no idea what's going on with their own company. So I don't
Right.
know if it's just this is just a nationwide thing or what,
Yeah.
but it just makes you wonder, like,
It's a
how
lot.
much
I didn't
is
get to see the list of people that were on there, like what they cut. I think it said that a lot of it was like publishing and marketing things.
right.
So I don't really know what the publishers would do exactly. Like, what are your publisher employees? What are they doing? I don't
Yeah.
know. The marketing people, obviously, you know what they're doing, but it's
But
a
look at
lot of
this.
people, man.
Of the 350 people, almost 4% made up 9,000 that are employed by a company responsible for titles such as blah, blah, blah. I thought they said they laid off people from Apex. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
I was about to freak out.
yeah. So it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know how Apex it could lose anybody. It
No.
seemed like they had a small team to begin with.
Yeah.
So
Because they're really not,
So
they didn't
I
do that much differently from Titanfall. It's just like Titanfall was like literally good. It just needed something that was like just
yeah.
more feasible to a bunch of other players. Because mechs are fucking dumb. I've always said that.
I kind of feel like this is in relation to Anthem. Like, I gotta think that this is tied to Anthem a little bit. Because with Apex doing so well, if Anthem would have knocked it out of the park too, EA would be like, yeah,
Rolling.
sitting on top.
Sure.
So I gotta think that, I mean, they there were reports that leaked that said that they made $100 million in sales and this and that.
I wonder
And
how much they're making
I
from
don't know.
Apex. Because even like I've tied this conversation with some of my friends recently. It's like, so we've been playing a lot of Apex. Like, I've been playing a lot of Apex. I love Apex. I think it's a fucking great game. I've always loved Titanfall, and Titanfall had mechs, and so bleh. But now it's like finally Titanfall without mechs in a BR, which is fantastic. Now I've had friends, so it's free to play, and they put like hundreds and hundreds of hours in it already, and the BAO pass just came out, and it's
Yeah.
$10, and they're just like, no, I'm not gonna buy it. So they haven't. Know so many people that haven't spent a dime
Yeah.
on the game.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I
It
wonder
can't
how
be, but
much they're actually making.
the
'Cause
difference is the sharks that make up for it. Like,
Yeah.
here's the example I have with Fortnite. I have firsthand experience
Okay.
with Fortnite. So I play Fortnite with my kids when they beg me enough that I just feel guilty, and they force me to play it. We play on console. We all have PlayStations. They play there because it's like, it's easy for kids to play that.
Sure.
I personally, between my 2 kids, have probably spent $200 to $300 on Fortnite, and I'm not even joking. It's insane. It is insane because they will spend all of their allowance every week on Fortnite skins. And I used to like not let them do it because I'm like, no, that's stupid. It's a waste of money. But I'm like, you know what? It's your money. You're earning it. You can spend it on whatever you want.
Sure.
And I advise them, and I still let them make the bad decision. But no bullshits. They have gotten hundreds of dollars from me for my kids.
Sure.
And I've gotten my kids to do a lot of chores, so it's a good trade-off. But I don't know, man. So like, for all the people out there that don't spend money on it, there's probably people like my kids that want to spend every dollar they get on the next greatest skin that comes out.
Sure. Right.
So, I don't mind promoting a game. Like a free-to-play game, I would probably buy stuff on it just to support the developer if I really liked it. Like example is PoE.
Sure.
So like, I play PoE and I like PoE. Well, I'm saying hypothetically, if I played PoE, I haven't played it.
Sure.
But if I played it and I liked it, I would buy stash tabs to make my life convenient.
Right.
And then I would probably buy skins to look cool because I know that money's going to support GGG.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd spend the equivalent of what a normal game would cost, $60
Sure.
or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, cool.
Right.
There it is.
And it's just like Apex.
So-
The battle pass is $10. It's $10.
Right.
And you've been playing it hardcore for like 2 months. Like, I mean, come on. Come on. I mean,
I think that's
advocating for these companies to make even more money, but like, you spend $60 on a pay-to-play title right now. So
I do that all the time. I think about it. I'm like, well, I'll go spend $20 at McDonald's to feed the family, or $30 at McDonald's to feed the family. It's like I can easily cook at home and save some of that money, and then buy this thing that I want, or support this developer that I want, or whatever. So.
Right. Exactly.
But some people don't have the same thought process, man. It's just weird. I think a lot of it goes like, some people, I've had people tell me in stream before that I would never sub to a streamer that's stupid. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Okay.
What?
I mean, that's cool, man. Like, I get it. And then I'm kind of the opposite, man. I had so many subs at one point. I'm like, God damn, dude, I'm spending a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I had to cut back. But at the time, when you think about it, it's like, man, it's $5. I'll waste $5 on KFC tomorrow. So
sure,
fuck it. Let's
absolutely.
I'll hook up this sub.
Right.
So I think it's just different mentalities that people have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for sure. But it's interesting. But
it would be interesting. I mean, I guess we'll know how much Apex made at some point.
I'm sure it's public,
EA has to release
right
revenue statements at every quarter, don't they?
Right. I think Apex is like
launch?
they could use like way better skins. They really don't have anything.
Yeah, that's the thing to me. Like, Division came out, right?
Yeah.
And I love Division. Division skins suck. Their cosmetic store is hot garbage.
Right.
I would probably spend money on some cool skins if they had some, because I like Division that much. Like, I'd be like, dude, here's an extra $10 because I love your game.
Mm-hmm.
But I go to their store and I'm like, this looks stupid. I wouldn't wear this if I got it for free.
Right.
Let alone pay money for it.
Yeah.
So if that's a way to generate extra revenue, I don't understand why that store is not super crazy. Like, why is it always so limited? Do they think that they're creating this like, oh, limited time, gotta buy it right now, never gonna get it again?
Right. I don't know.
Because to me, I think it would make more sense if you go to the Apex skin store, right, and they had 400 skins. Would that churn you away, or would you be like, God damn, that's awesome? Versus, like, what do they have now? Probably like 2 or 3, something stupid
per character. It's like a lot.
Yeah,
like, quite a bit.
Do they have a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Fortnite does it the opposite. They have like 1 a day that you can buy,
right.
And it's like, it goes away forever.
I don't like.
I guess it puts
I'd love to see some statistics on this, because you see like Fortnite, where someone like, you can get skin that like maybe makes you look like a llama or something, and then you can get a skin that like makes you look like a badass, like evil looking dude. So I wonder, like, they must do pretty well on those really dumb looking microtransactions, because it seems like more often than not, especially in Fortnite,
like a banana.
Dumb.
Like they had one that was a banana. It was stupid as hell. Like, you were literally a giant ass banana.
Why would you ever want to do that?
And I saw like and that's one that my son had to have. Like, he wanted the big ass banana because he wanted to look like an idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess it's like Diablo. It's like, you're fighting the demons of hell, and you farm all these hours to get.
And you got a hamburger.
Fucking butterfly wings, and it still to me does not make sense. But
yeah, is it or the hamburger? It's like you cosmetically put the hamburger. Like, I'm beating this guy to death with a hamburger.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I get it a little bit.
Yeah, I guess.
I get it a little bit.
I know. It's crazy.
But yep. So and then we're talking about these retail things. Sony announced that at the start, April 1st of 2019, which is a couple days from now, they're going to stop selling digital keys at retail locations. And I don't really understand why they would do that.
Like, so those little game cards that you can get.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do that anymore?
Like, you can no longer go to GameStop and just buy a digital download for a game. If you want to buy the game, you have to go to Sony's web through the PlayStation app or through their website and buy it digitally that way.
That's interesting.
Maybe because the retailer gets a cut of, I would assume the retailer has to get a cut of that money.
Or else
and maybe they're like,
shelf,
you know what? Like, why? Like, we're fronting everything about this. All they're doing is just selling it, so we can just make them do it through us. They're still going to sell like game time cards, and they're still going to sell DLC keys and things like that. But the actual physical box games that have physical copies, they're not going to sell.
I
So
mean, I'm actually
GameStop leaked this out. I think.
completely okay with that because I hate hard copies. Like, it actually, like, I used to love hard copies of games, but in this day and age, it's like it's such a waste of resource. And I just think of like the trash islands in the ocean and shit like that. And it's just like, man, there's
Yeah.
all these like I've got a box full of like old games. I'm just like, man, like how do I like I've taken so much shit to Best Buy over the years to get it recycled because they do it for free. If you guys didn't know that, they just take your old electronics and they recycle them. But man, it sucks. It sucks to think about like what we waste, which is I guess a pretty dark thing to think about. But with game copies in general, it's like all plastic. It's all stuff that doesn't go anywhere. So
I think
I
about
like
the convenience of it. Like to me, to not have to physically switch that disc in my PlayStation is way more important to me than being able to play a game 20 years down the road. Like 20 years from now, when the PlayStation service is shut down, and oh man, I can't throw in my GTA 5 and play it. I don't care. At that point, I'll be able to emulate it if I really wanted to.
Sure.
Like what Xbox game can you not emulate on a PC right now if you wanted to?
Right.
Probably all of them. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't really care about that. And the convenience of not having to switch the disc is important to me.
Right.
Like I don't want to mess with them. I have 3 PlayStation games ever.
Yeah. And it's the thing
that I've physically purchased.
And I like my parents, like when I first moved into my new house.
They were gifts too.
my parents brought over like a box that I had, like it was sitting in their basement. And which I didn't even know was there. And it had like all my Diablo 2 like original boxes and like a bunch of my favorite games, like all the Final Fantasy games, like in their boxes and stuff like that. And it's like I ended up recycling them. Or I didn't even want to take the time to sell them. Like I just like I don't want stuff in this day and age. I just don't want stuff. So if everything moves to digital, like I'm totally fine with it. Which just sucks too because I got like I've got an Atari with games. I was like, well, I don't want this stuff anymore, but I don't want to like throw it away and then it sits in a landfill and like. Fucking sucks.
So I think I told this story. I told this story like at Christmas time when I was shopping. One of the things I got, like every year we do like a family gift for everybody. And since I'm a video game playing nerd, I usually try to focus around electronics or something. So this year I bought a family PlayStation that's in my living room and the PlayStation VR because I think VR is absolutely phenomenally fun. It is so fun.
Okay.
So I got a PlayStation VR. And as I'm checking out to buy this thing at GameStop, I bought it at GameStop because you got like free Call of Duty with it or something. I don't remember. But I'm checking out, and this lady in front of me had her kids. I think it was her kids. Xbox 360, like 2 Call of Duty games, right? And she's like trading them in to buy whatever she's gonna buy. And they literally gave her $3 for like these 2 games. You know what I mean?
Oh
it's God. Like $3, $3. And I'm like, okay, $3 is $3. I get it.
Sure.
But to me, I would have been like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep them. For $3, I'm gonna keep them. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
If I could, like, if someone could come,
I would rather throw them away than give them the $3. I'd be like,
wow.
Come on, man. It's just the point. It's the point. Sure. It's like really $3. And I get it. Like, what are you gonna sell it for? Nobody's ever gonna buy that shit. Like, who's gonna go into GameStop and be like, oh, yo, you got that Xbox 360 15-year-old Call of Duty?
Right.
Like, no.
Right.
I don't know.
Man, there's obviously a market for it because they do that. So there's got to be people out there like, oh,
there can't be a market.
Modern Warfare 1. Please hook me up.
There's no way there's a market for that.
I don't know.
There's just got to be a ploy to get people to come into the store. It's like, you're shopping with us. We'll give you credit for your old games. We'll offer you nothing, but it got you in my store. You're going to buy from me.
Sure.
That has to be the ploy.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
But I don't know.
Goddamn.
I don't know. That's about it.
No,
the only other thing.
It's a big one. It's actually a big one because they're ARPG fans.
Okay, go ahead.
I think one of the top 3 probably that's out there right now, which again, there's really not much out there. You've got PoE, Diablo, and Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn's always been there. It's always what I thought to be a really solid playthrough game. It's pretty cheap, and in 2 days, Grim Dawn's getting their second expansion, full expansion, which is pretty cool. So definitely, and they're getting what? Let's look at this. So they're getting a new class, which is pretty big.
All right.
It's called the Oath Keeper.
Okay.
from what I've looked at, it seems to be like a paladin. And if you don't know how Grim Dawn works, is you can mix two classes together. So you can be like a necro paladin or like a necro.
How much have you played this? You
Oh
played
yeah.
the campaign, right?
Oh yeah, I played a lot of Grim Dawn.
I've never played it. I actually haven't even researched it very much.
You haven't played a
I don't
different
know a whole lot
RPG
about
than Diablo? How shocking.
No, I played Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate? What? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Baldur's Gate
when
1
did you
and
play
2.
Baldur's? Yeah, when they came out.
I played Neverwinter Nights.
Never
Come on,
Winter,
man.
man. You're killing me. You're killing me.
What else have I played?
Play what you haven't
probably
played: Grim Dawn or PoE. The three best ARPGs on the market: Diablo, PoE, Grim Dawn. And you
I played Diablo
one.
2, Diablo 3, Neverwinter Nights, and Baldur's Gate. 4 right there.
Amazing.
And World of Warcraft, a lot of World of Warcraft.
Okay. That's not an ARPG, but okay. I'm with you. But they also have like new zones, you know, it's the standard stuff that comes with every, you know, expansion for any game. And then they have movement abilities, which was one thing that I really struggled with when I was playing PoE. It's like you just walked everywhere, you know. You can move faster. There's ways you can move faster. Like you can get movement speed on your boots and stuff like that, but there's really like nothing to traverse a lot of ground. So like it looks like they've done quite a bit of movement abilities there, and they're doing like new challenge areas. So it's like a way more specific challenge rift, I guess, like in Diablo. So like you have a very specific set of goals you have to kind of accomplish.
Is there any multiplayer in this game?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's instance based, just like Diablo 3, so it's clunky. But you know, if you're an ARPG fan, you're used to clunky multiplayer.
Yeah.
So yeah, you invite people to your instance or whatever. But yeah, and then they have kind of like rifts now, which is one of the things that they didn't have before. It's like they didn't really have much replayability in the end game. So
are the rifts randomized? Do you know?
it will be, yeah. It'll be randomized. Cool. And again, this is only $16. It's a pretty great game if you like ARPGs, you know. And if you're listening, you're probably a Diablo fan, so things can be pretty stale at this point in the season. So, you know, maybe think about it.
It's nice to pick up something else and play, and like, I mean, I got to admit, this is probably the highest Diablo fatigue I've ever had.
I agree.
And I've experienced Diablo fatigue because I mean I streamed the game for 7 days a week for like my whole life. But it's like this right now, the only thing keeping me going is hardcore right now. Like hardcore is new to me. Mm-hmm. Even that's starting to get a little old. I haven't died yet. You know, I like got super close the other day, just like pushing myself, trying to just, you know, keep it fun and keep it fresh.
Sure.
But
well, I think
it's like,
part of it is,
you know, it's okay to try other things too.
Yeah. I think part of it too is, you know, as streamers, we definitely feed off the energy of like our viewers and our community. And, you know, obviously since BlizzCon, it's just constant negativity. It's hopelessness is a good word to describe it. So I feel like, you know, streaming Diablo, you know, what it was before BlizzCon versus what it is now. It's a totally
the day
different
before.
beast.
Like, do you remember your stream right before BlizzCon?
Oh my God.
Like your last one you had, like come off. It was so hype, man. I was like, oh my, it's just like unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I think post there's like Diablo shall forever be remembered to me as pre BlizzCon and post BlizzCon.
For sure. Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
You know, pre BC, post BC.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Yep.
But that being said,
that's cool.
You know, it's still,
yeah,
it's still good. But
I still have fun playing it. But this is the highest. My point is, this is the highest fatigue I've had, and I hope PTR hits soon. I hope it's significant. I hope they give us something that we are listening post. I hope is meaningful and not just bullshit to try to PR move and keep everybody from getting mad at Blizzard. So yeah, man, I hope early April we get some PTR news.
Sure.
I really do. But
me too.
Yeah. It'd be something the community really needs.
It'd be great to be able to, as a content creator, create content once again. right?
Yeah.
And that's
I
all
haven't
we
made a
can hope
YouTube
for.
video in a month.
You know,
Because I
I've
had
actually got
nothing to
complaints about you not making your challenges videos. So
make.
apparently
Really?
you
It's
need to
really.
get on that. Yeah.
I stopped, man. It's. Fuck. I did it last night live on Twitch. I guess I should just clip that and upload it. Like, here
There
you
you
go.
go.
But it's like, yeah, I don't want to produce shitty content as at the same. But it's hard, man. Like I haven't made YouTube content, and it's like I feel bad. I really want to, but
Right.
it's like, what do I make?
Right.
Like seriously, what Diablo video do you make right now?
Right. I mean, yeah. I
There's
I
nothing.
love
I
theory
mean,
crafting. I'm like Mr. Theory Craft. And that's, one of the big enjoyments I'm getting out of PoE right now is because, like, there are new skills, there are builds that haven't been, like, really tapped beyond belief. And that's kind of what I've been obsessing over. So I miss that
yeah.
in Diablo, like being able to come up with the best possible build to do this best possible scenario, like a speed rift or
Right.
whatever. So yeah, it's yeah, I would love to be
Yeah.
able to do that again.
I'm not even joking when I say this. Every single day I drive to work and I'm at work and driving home in the shower, whatever, and I'm thinking like, what YouTube video could I make today about Diablo? And it's like for the last month, it's like there is nothing. I can't think of it. It's like, well, I could talk about Diablo 4,
Sure.
but like I'm just talking out of my ass. I don't know anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. It's like I so badly want to make content for this game.
Sure.
Nothing to do, man.
Yep.
Yeah, Grim Dawn, check it out. It looks cool. There's a video playing for you guys listening, to the audio. That it looks really cool. You guys should check it out.
And this game,
Something that I
honestly,
might
this
check
game,
out. It looks
like,
good. Looks really
with
good.
the graphics turned up, you can really crank the graphics on this thing. Like, I remember last time I tried it, like, it would actually lag on me with 4K, 240 FPS.
Nice.
Like, my computer couldn't even do it, and I have like a beast fucking machine. So
Yeah,
like, it's very detailed.
that little Diablo looking beast he was just fighting looked huge.
Right.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Look at the camera zoomed out so you could fight this massive
you can zoom
beast.
it
That was
way
awesome.
out in PoE or in Grim Dawn.
I like that.
Yeah,
Grim Dawn. I like that.
yeah.
So
You get a lot of
I think
ARPGs
that's
to
everything
try
we
out.
hit on the list. Yeah, one other like really quick thing that I'm kind of excited for is Borderlands 3.
Oh yeah.
Gearbox is announcing something Thursday. They are teasing us. And it's got to be Borderlands 3. They tweeted out a couple hours ago, want the latest Borderlands news? Like, check out borderlands.com. But it's nothing there yet. Like, they are trolling the shit out of everybody right now. I'm excited for Borderlands 3. I think it could be like Borderlands 2 was so good. It was such, if you haven't played that game and you're a looter fan, you're a shooter fan, you don't even have to be a shooter fan, so to say, to enjoy this game. It's got the best pop culture references I think I've ever seen in a video game. It is absolutely
What does that
stellar.
even mean? Pop culture references.
Like just the jokes that they make are like funny and current, and like
I've actually
the
never
characters.
played this. I've never really even seen it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, Borderlands. So Borderlands 1 feels dated.
the art style.
Borderlands the pre-sequel wasn't that good. Borderlands 2 still kind of holds up pretty well. But if you take Diablo's loot and like multiply it by 50 and then put it in a shooter game, it like literally this is Diablo FPS.
Okay.
There's really no other way to describe it. It is talent trees. It's loot quality, random rolled loot, like just good stuff, man. Super good stuff.
Okay.
So Borderlands 3 has been in development, we assume, for a really long time. And Thursday, Gearbox, the studio that makes it, is announcing something. They've been hyping this for a couple weeks. They're teasing Borderlands things. So it's if it's not Borderlands 3, they just pulled a BlizzCon. Diablo forges are burning hot, and then they drop something else. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's weird. Like one of
Hopefully
the
they
things
don't do
that I've noticed over the years I've been a streamer, which is a long time now, is like one game that seemingly everyone has agreed on throughout the gaming time that I've been gaming is Borderlands. Like everyone has always said, like Borderlands 2. It's a really good game.
Me
really
too.
Good game.
And I was the same thing. I did not play it when it was fresh and hot and new and current. I heard so many people tell me it was a good game. I saw it on sale on like Green Man Gaming or some, one of those websites for like $6 for the entire game with every DLC. It was $6. I'm like, okay, $6. I'll try it out.
Sure.
I bought the game. I think I bought it on a Friday night. I had beaten the game by Sunday, and I had put like 30 something hours in it. You know what I mean? Like, it was that good. It was good enough that I was like, damn, this is amazing. I want to keep playing this. So, and it's one of those games that's constantly on sale. Like, you can pick this up for under $10 all the time.
Right.
So,
speaking of sales, Diablo's 50% off right now.
Sweet.
It's free. It's a little FYI. If you're watching this, you should probably play Diablo. But just an FYI.
You probably already have it. But if you wanted to get a buddy into it or a family member or something, or if you wanted to make the switch to PC, you play on console.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do it.
There you go. It's the time. Let's get into some quitter.
Yeah.
Some
quitter questions.
Let's get into some quitter questions. Trying to say that 5 times fast. Yeah. Quitter questions. Let's get into some Twitter questions before my internet decides to crap all the way up. I think it's trying to.
Probably.
So, let's see what we got. If you guys are new, you haven't heard the Twitter questions section before, you can tweet your questions to us. We do this every podcast at the end of the episode at ThaPChild on Twitter, at Lord__Fluffy, or in our Discords. You can catch the links to the Discord in the YouTube comments below.
Yeah.
And if you're watching live, you can type !Discord or !PChild, and it will it'll tell you how to get in there. So today's questions, our first one comes from Onion, and Onion said, if Diablo Immortal was scrapped, would you be upset or would you not care?
I'd be upset. I mean, I was upset when we found out that they had been working on the over-the-shoulder Diablo and decided to scrap it, like, completely. Because to me, it's like, man, like, put the little finishing touches on it. Maybe it's not the best game in the world, but I don't know. It's still like content like that we could have done.
Depends on how far along they are, I guess.
Yeah.
Too.
And from what we saw at BlizzCon, it really wouldn't take. I mean, I shouldn't say it wouldn't take much effort, but it wouldn't take that much effort to take it like to the finish line. So, I mean, I wouldn't love that.
Would I care? Would I be upset? Is an overstatement. I don't think I would be upset. But do I want them to finish it? Sure, why not? I mean, we got nothing else.
Curious. That's my thing. I'm just so curious. Like, they're putting their name on this thing. Is it gonna be the absolute train wreck that everyone thinks, or are we going to be surprised by a mobile game? Like, that's what I'm honestly curious about.
Here's the thing that I try to remind myself a lot. There are people working on this game that are people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as much as it's fun to trash the game, and I do, I mean, more than I should probably, but there are actual people who bust their ass every day, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whatever it is, to make this game. And so I want to try to be respectful, at least, to that. And, because to me, like, you can make art and you can make games, and games are kind of like art to me, I feel like, a little bit. You can make music, you can make art, and not everybody's going to like it, but that doesn't mean you shit on it. If somebody paints a picture of Diablo, I don't go, that looks like shit. What the fuck's he doing?
Sure.
You're like, oh, that's cool. Right. Dude put a lot of effort into that. So it's kind of feel the same for Immortal. Is it what I wanted? Of course not. So am I hype about it? Not really. But I'm like Fluff, man. I do expect. I'm curious. Like, can they pull it off?
Right.
If they can, amazing for us. And if they can't, that's what we expected. So,
sure.
Cool.
I don't know. I do kind of feel like now that they made that statement of how, like, we feel like people would pay for our games. Like, I do feel like it's going to be pay to play, which would be ridiculous.
You think it's going to be like a $10 phone app
probably
purchase?
$20, like $19.99 or something like that. I could see.
They would have to tell me how they plan on supporting the game and how much content's in the game.
Right. That would be a big.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
To me, it would be like, okay, so am I going to get like a hour campaign out of this, and then what, microtransactions too?
Right.
If there's a single microtransaction in a $20 app on my phone, oh baby, I would lose my shit. You know,
Sure.
I'd be like, are you kidding me, man? Like, no, absolutely not.
Right.
Everything better be earnable in game in a
Mhm.
reasonable time. Like, I don't want this. Oh, you can buy everything in game. Well, it takes 900 hours to earn $1 worth of currency. You know
Right.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Jamcar says, if you were a new streamer, what game would you build around to grow your newfound channel and why?
I mean,
That's
this is a
up
tough
to the
question.
streamer. Yeah.
There's a twofold way, and you get both sides of the coin, and this is the most honest answer I can give you. One is you can play a somewhat dead game and build your audience off of, your shared passion for the dead game. As long as you really enjoy it, that's the thing. A lot of people are have been given this information, like, well, play a game that not a lot of people play and build your audience. So maybe they'll play I don't fucking know, Anthem.
Yeah.
Shots fired. But they,
That's rough, man.
but they're just grinding at it every day, and and if you hate it, then well, no one's gonna stick around because you're gonna be miserable, and it's gonna show.
Yeah.
So it's it's a catch-22. So it's you're gonna get more people. You're probably gonna build a community faster if you play a game with less people. But if you want to play Apex all day, and that's all you want to do, go play Apex. I mean, it's just do what you want to do. This is the bottom line.
Yeah.
And just hope.
If you're trying to successfully grow your channel, you're never it would be extremely lucky of you to make any kind of headway in the most popular games on Twitch. If you go play Apex or you go play Fortnite, nobody is going to scroll down 40 pages of Apex streamers to pop in your stream.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that if you're not even on the first page of a game, you're probably not going to get any browser reviews. And more importantly, if you're probably not in the first row of a game, your views are drastically reduced. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's just the way Twitch works, man. It's just how it is. So you need to pick a game that you enjoy, that you can be knowledgeable at some point. Even if you're not starting out, you need to be knowledgeable in the game because a lot of your viewers are going to ask you questions.
Right.
And then something that you feel that you can grind. But here's the downside. When you build your game on a community, that is your community. Right. So when you switch to a different game, 60% of that community is gone.
Peace.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly. I mean, instantly gone. And then the remaining 40 that were they'll watch you stream a new game, that they better like that new game because you're going to lose those guys too.
Yeah.
So you're starting over when you switch games. So it's
100%.
Streaming is a hard time. It's a really
very volatile
hard thing. And the thing that the biggest advice that I give people is, with the ups or the downs, and you have good weeks, you have bad weeks, your sub count goes up, your sub count goes down. You really have to keep your emotions under control because it's super easy to get an emotional swing of, oh man, I made it. And then another one of, oh my God, I'm dying. My stream's dying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to temper those emotions. For
sure. And it's before, it's after BlizzCon, before I moved, I mean, I felt like I was almost approaching a point where, because I don't spend literally anything. And I was like, man, maybe I could do this full time. This is finally, after all this hard work, we're to the point, maybe we can finally do this thing. And then it just, within a week, it's just that dream is completely gone because, maybe gifted subs wore off or.
Yeah. You see your sub count drop by 50%, and you're like, oh, what? And then a couple of weeks later you'll get back to what you consider a good amount, and then the next week it's gone. So it's crazy, man. You have your highs and your lows
for sure.
And so much of it is built on the game that you picked, the developers. An example is when this season started, I was killing it. The season was great. All my viewers were around. My community members that have been around for years, they were in, and it's awesome. As soon as they announced that the season was extended to May 12th,
gone.
You know what I mean? Ghost town instantly. I swear, the day of that announcement, my viewership dropped insane and never recovered. And it's just because people are like, welp, I'm not playing this game anymore. But that's true for everybody, man. You can watch
Yeah.
any gamer do this. And the example is Ninja, and I'll use him because everybody knows who he is, biggest streamer ever. When he was riding that high and he was pulling 100,000 plus every single stream, that was his high. That was his like his point.
Sure.
And I saw this start to happen. He did a sponsored tournament for Realm Royale, and he went and he did this tournament. And during that tournament, he was pulling like 40,000 people. And in that, I watched him stream that for a little bit because I wanted to see if I liked the game. And, plus I like to watch big guys to try to learn from them, right?
Sure.
So I'm watching him stream that. And in there, all he kept saying was, man, I can't wait to get home and have 100,000 people again. Like he was saying this out loud to the people. And I remember thinking like, damn, dude, you got 40,000 right now. You're not happy with 40,000.
Right.
And on top of that, the 40,000 that are watching you, you're acting like that's not enough. Like they're the ones that you should be like,
I don't matter.
Yo, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Instead, he's worried about the people that aren't there. And so I saw him do this. And then now when his sub count went down and other people passed him up, there was clip after clip of him saying like, this is stupid. You guys, people don't stop buying Drake's album because he's got too much money, but people are telling me they don't sub to me because I got too many subs. And like he kind of fell off and like went to this bad mental state.
Right.
And it's interesting, man. Like it happens to even the biggest dudes, like the biggest streamer of all time and influencer of all time isn't susceptible to these emotional roller coasters. So,
and but it also contradicts what you would think. So like Shroud's obviously done super, super well recently. But Shroud's the kind of guy that like he'll be streaming and he talks about like all the shit he's buying and like, he'll talk about money and how it's like not a problem and he'll kind of be flashy about it. But that doesn't make people not sub, which you would think is like the controversial kind of thing. But people are like, well, cool, at least he's like accomplishing my dreams or his dreams. So here's another $10. Like, so it's weird. It's weird. I got a question for you though, because this is something that it kind of gets under my skin. I see a lot of streamers do this. Constantly thanking your audience every 2 minutes.
Give more detail. Like you're saying, like, man, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. It's awesome.
Hey, everyone that's in here right now. Like, oh my God, thank you so much for coming in there, hanging out. I love you guys so much. And then 30 seconds to 2 minutes goes by, and you do it again, and you just constantly do it. It just feels so insincere to me. Like it's
Do you think this is coming from larger streamers, or would you call smaller streamers? I'm gonna say larger as like over 100 and smaller as like sub 20.
I see it everywhere. It's like a particular. I feel like it's a style of streaming. It's almost a style.
Okay. What? I don't.
That's what I mean. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but it's so obnoxious to me. Like I thank my people sometimes. Like I think if it's more genuine. But oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. Like I try to thank people, like especially people that sub and stuff. I always tell them, I'm like, man, hey, thank you for the support. It means a lot. Blah blah blah. And because it does. I mean, that's you could have bought a cheeseburger instead of subbing to me, which is really cool. Thank you. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of ingenuine, like I don't know if it's ingenuine, but yeah, I'm with you, man. Like people, like the thing that kind of gets me is if people are like, "Oh, I love you guys so much. You mean so much to me," and this and that, and I hear that a lot too. And I'm like, I love my wife and I love my kids, and I really appreciate you guys, but I don't really love you guys. Like I appreciate you guys, but I don't love. I love my wife and kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you'd subscribe like, oh, you're moving kind of fast for me.
but some people are like that.
Sure.
I think some people are just like what's up, bro? Love you, man. And that's cool. The thing that turns me off more than anything are when people, and this is like a trend that I see Ninja and Lupo and Tim the Tatman do a lot, and they say, "Chat, can we get 5 gifted subs for Tim dying?" And
I think
it would just
in certain scenarios, but obviously something like that's dumb as shit, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. That'd be like if I'm playing hardcore and I ripped, and then I'm just like, "Yo, chat, can I get 10 gifted subs because I died?" Like that to me is cringy, but
Sure.
some people don't care. And you
Right.
know what though? It works is the thing. It's like man, it works. And it's
Right.
like I'm not gonna do it, but it works. Because I
Sure.
see them say it and then fucking sure enough, man, somebody's like, boop, 10 gifted subs.
I think it can be funny,
So
but like
yeah,
something like that is
to
dumb.
an extent.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Anyways,
That's the stream rant. Sorry, we kind of
Sure.
went hard on that.
We do that a lot.
Keyray says, what the hell does this? Oh, which way do you put your TP, your toilet paper on the roll, over or under? And then the way the sheet hangs, does it hang over? Or
Yeah, I get it. And the people that would even respond under are just like, you need to be banned from this channel.
Yeah, that's over for sure.
Under? Like, what do you like? What if it doesn't roll over all the way? Like, you're like searching like under things.
Scrape from the
ridiculous. Put it the other way, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I'm with you. I forgot to write this one down. The name of the person. Hold on, I know exactly where it came from though. So I'm gonna pull it up really quick because I care that much. Coda says, Intel or Ryzen, Nvidia or AMD.
That's a good question.
That's easy for me to answer because I'm a tech geek. So
Okay, go ahead.
if money is not an object, it's Intel and Nvidia all day long. Because if you're talking about gaming or streaming, you can only throw so many cores at streaming encoding, and there's a lot of reasoning behind that. But clock for clock, Intel produces more raw power per core, even though Ryzen might have more cores. You can't just throw cores at it. And if you're talking about gaming, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So Intel will outperform. And then for GPUs, I mean, NVIDIA is the shit. So
Right.
it's,
Yeah, for me,
so
like,
Intel. But
yeah,
I have both. I have a 8700K as a gaming machine, and I have a 2700X, which is Ryzen's flagship, consumer product. It's not the Threadripper, but it's the top tier,
Sure.
like Gen 2 Ryzen, and they're both really good. I mean, so if you're being money conscious, the Ryzen 7 series are amazing. So I'm not knocking it; they're good, but
yeah,
for a
but
dual
okay.
stream setup.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So like gaming will only ever, at least for the next like probably 5 years, will only ever take advantage of a maximum of 4 cores. So there's like people keep getting like, these companies keep pumping out like, oh my God, 8 cores, 10 cores, 12 cores, 14 cores, 16 cores. If you're gaming and you're buying something over 4 cores, like know that you're wasting your money a little bit. Like the 6 cores have really good prices, like the 8700K, that's a 6 core, right?
Yeah,
6 or 8 or something like that.
it's 6.
Yeah, so like, just it's, and again for your buck, the Intel is going to be like way better. The AMD is obviously
There are
going to be
some
cheaper.
games that would support more cores. There are a few. Destiny is one of those games
No,
that will
not in
support
CPU cores.
multiple cores.
No,
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. I promise you, it doesn't.
It does. I can show you
Maybe
the press release when they
SLI
talk about-
versus Crossfire and stuff like that. It'll probably work ish, but
Okay.
probably won't take advantage of it too much.
No, it's not going to make the difference. It's all going to be GPU bottlenecked anyways. But yeah, I mean, so Intel is going to be better for gaming. Now, if you're going to try to stream or do something else, the Ryzen with the cores, there are benchmarks to prove that it can handle it slightly better, the encoding and stuff.
Sure.
But if you're, like I said, it's money. If money is no object, Intel and NVIDIA. If money is an object, Ryzen and AMD.
I mean, NVIDIA, I feel like, so AMD versus Intel, at least in the past like couple years, is a lot closer of a race than Ryzen versus NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA just blows Ryzen out of the fucking water. Like it's not even close. But Intel versus AMD, it's a bit more of a race, especially lately. But even still, like Intel's clearly superior. But anyways.
Yeah. Intel kind of dropped the ball, I think, a little bit with their latest generation i9s, and I don't want to get too nerd on the podcast, but they didn't really step them up from like the 7 series. They just like overclocked them slightly and then slapped the 9 on them. They skipped the 8 series altogether. There were no i9s in the 800 or
Right.
8000 series.
There's not much more that could even utilize it.
I don't
besides,
want more cores.
encoding.
I want more performance per clock, just per
Yeah.
core. Just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because
Silicon transistors, man.
I
Need to
want
figure something out.
I want that placebo. You know what I mean? I want that placebo.
Yeah.
It needs to be a thing. Let's see. Gettert, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or at all. I probably butchered your name. I apologize, man. He says, would you ride a Harley Davidson? I have. Sure. Ridden a Harley.
I've ridden Harley as well.
A couple of them.
Would I buy one? Hell no. Hell
Yeah.
fucking no.
I'm a sport bike fan, personally. I prefer,
Even if I wasn't.
I've been out of the bike scene for a long time.
With a Harley, you're paying extra. You're paying a premium because it says Harley on it. So, no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
I mean,
advise.
I get it. That's like, saying, would you buy a Mustang? Like, of course not. I'm a Corvette owner. Like, why would I ever have a filthy Mustang?
See, I don't even know what that means because I'm not a car person.
But no, so I'm a sport bike person personally. My dream bike many years ago was a Hayabusa, but I don't know.
Hayabusa. What the heck are you gonna do with that? Like people that drive around with a Hayabusa, like what are you doing besides just risking
Going
your
as
life?
fast as I possibly.
Oh
Yeah,
my
exactly.
God.
That's the point. And then I got hit on a motorcycle, and I'm like, this is stupid. So, but yeah, I used to be the guy doing wheelies and stoppies in the middle of the highway. So yeah, that was really stupid.
Wow.
One car accident will change that really quick. You'd be like, oh, this is really dumb.
Or you'd not think anymore because you'll be dead.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Yes.
Right. I'm a big motorcycle rider, man, but it's not. It's about being on two wheels. It's not about going fast.
Yeah.
It's about living, mostly.
Yeah. But yeah, I've ridden a lot of Harleys. They're fun. It was a good time. I didn't dislike it. So.
Yeah, I see. Like I struggle because there's value in having a very loud motorcycle because
people hear you,
and people aren't looking for you, and like legitimately, like you hear people say, like people are trying to kill you when you're on a motorcycle. It's like it's not a cliche. It's not a joke. Like literally almost every time I ride, someone does something where if I hadn't properly defensively drove, I probably would be dead. Like almost every time. So there's definitely value in being very, very loud. But I'm about on the other side of that spectrum. Like, I'll be sitting on my patio, like having a beer or something like that, and a giant, chopper engine flies by, and it's like, man, that is so fucking annoying.
So fucking annoying, right? Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. I agree with you. And I don't think we've ever told our motorcycle stories on the podcast, and we'll save it. I'm not going to get into it today because it's a long story. Mm-hmm. But I've been riding bikes since I could like barely walk. My dad got me in my first dirt bike when I was tiny. Man, I was probably like 6 or 7. I've owned dirt bikes my whole life, and then I got a motorcycle when I was 16, and ended up getting Katana, which in the early 2000s was an okay bike. It wasn't super crap. It was
it's good.
For a 16-year-old, it's a pretty decent bike.
Right.
And so I had that from 16, and when I was in my early 20s, somebody hit me on it, and that was the last time I ever rode. I'm like, fuck it, because like you're saying, you're defensive driving. Nobody sees you ever.
Right.
They cut you off. You're not respected, and it was just too much. Like, man, fuck this. I'm done. So the loudness does let people hear you,
right?
But god damn, it's annoying.
It's so annoying.
I have a guy
there's always the
dudes that have to crank the engine. They're always like, I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. Like,
what
idle.
Legitimately pisses me off is so you got the guys that had the radios built on their motorcycles. That shit's fucking stupid because it's like. You don't hear it. You can't hear it over like 35, 40 miles an hour. You can't hear it, period. I don't care who you are. You're lying to yourself. So you're literally just creating noise pollution. Like, you're just a dick. You're just a dick. Like, I want to hear it when I pull up to the stoplight.
Yeah.
Like,
they have speakers in your helmets now, by the way, for those guys.
But even then, over like 60, you can't hear it.
Yeah.
If right next to your ear, you
I
won't
used to
hear.
wear earbuds like these when I rode, which is really retarded. So really stupid. I made a lot of dumb choices as a kid.
Sure, sure.
Uh, Hex says if you could take one mechanic from another game and put it into Diablo 3, what would you take? That's a super loaded question. I'll start because I think this is something I've kind of thought through before in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I really think a survival mode would fit in Diablo 3 so well, where you or your party of players get dropped into a PvE environment with nothing on, basically started at like level 1 normal, difficulty,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to survive endless waves, or you have to complete rifts or do something to progress your character, get loot drops, equip the loot drops, and keep trying to progress either until you get to an end point to get out, or maybe an endless mode where you see how high you can go with the sets you get. And I think that could be a lot of fun.
Sure.
I think that'd be a good game mode.
One of the things that I'm noticing with PoE, and it's insane to try to jump into. Like, obviously, that's something we talk about time and time again. It's like just trying to jump into PoE in its current form is so difficult. But if you think about, so say next season, Diablo 3 decides to implement just one of probably one of the seasonal or league themes that we've seen in Path of Exile, which is every league theme has had a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of complicated mechanics to it. There's a lot to learn, and people don't really master it, and until like a month and a half into the league, and a month and a half after that they get brand new mechanics. So while I get that complexity like that, adding complexity like that, will maybe turn off some players, but like you got to think about it from the guys that play it like so hard, like us. If we're playing it so hard every day, like that would be really, really juicy to get like one season where we get some kind of new mechanic that's like, it's tough, it's going to add a lot of layers to the game, and a lot of people aren't going to get it or understand it, but us, that play every day will, and we'll be able to answer those questions. And it's really a kind of an endless amount. What I've noticed in PoE is like there's an endless amount of questions that you will like. You would never be able to answer all the questions. And I get questions all the time. People just see me stream and they see my numbers or something, and like, well, this guy must play a lot of PoE, and I don't. And so they're like, oh, what do you think about this combined with this passive, combined with this? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like, and if you imagine if you played league after league after league after league, and you know the answer to that question, like that's insane.
But that doesn't turn you away from playing though. And that's the thing is, I don't think like so many of these games are scared of that complexity.
Right.
And I don't think they should be. I don't think you need to be scared of the complexity. Sure. I think they can embrace it. Like PoE embraced it. Like a lot of people pull up that skill tree in PoE and they're like, oh my God.
Exactly.
It's like, what is this? But you don't really have to know it that well. Like just play the game and have fun. And then as you play, you're going to pick the mechanics up.
Right, and imagine if Diablo 3 did it. Because Diablo 3's got this great base. Like, rifts and greater rifts, they're fun. They're just fun. Like, and imagine if, like, so you start up Diablo, and the next season has, like, a new endgame activity, and it's super in-depth or whatever. But ultimately, Diablo at its core is still, like, you could just jump in, you could rift, and you could greater rift. Period.
Right.
But now there's, like, this whole crazy, complex thing to do. Like once you're there, that you can do, but ultimately Diablo at its core is still like rift, greater rift. So like,
and the thing to keep that going is, and I think the thing that Diablo does well is you can get anything from doing any activity. You can do bounties and get drops. I mean, they're not as high as greater rift chances, but you can get them. You get them doing T13 rifts. You get them doing greater rifts. Pretty much any activity end game in Diablo, you can play the campaign if you wanted to and get the drops. So. That is, as long as they don't take that away, like whatever new systems they introduce, sure, it needs to have like a couple pieces you need to chase.
Right.
Just like bounties have the royal ring and whatever, the illusionary boots and other things that you need.
Right.
But the majority of your things can come from any activity. I think that people would embrace that activity, and then they could do it if they chose to.
Sure.
They don't have to.
Right.
So I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wow.
That's all the questions that we had for tonight.
That's it.
That's it.
All right.
6 questions. If you guys want your questions answered, again, you can tweet them at ThaPChild, at Lord__Fluffy, or in our Discord's links are in chat right now and on YouTube.
Yeah.
!Discord.
Easy.
So thanks for hanging out for the New Meta episode 45. We're almost at that year milestone. We'll be hitting that really soon.
It's crazy.
Really, really soon.
Crazy.
Yep. So I'm ThaPChild. You guys can catch me everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all those things at ThaPChild.
Yeah. I'm Lord Fluffy. Double those underscores on the YouTube or on the Twitter. You guys get it. Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.